What's good? It's your boy Jay, that's me. Monday Night Raw is rinse and repeat. It's a hamster on a wheel. What am I talking about? Judgment Day. Start and end the show every single damn week. I'm tired of it. I am sick and tired of it. Enough. I like Judgment Day as a faction. I like all 4 members individually. I do. But less is more. And they are not the successor to the Bloodline. The Bloodline have no successors. It's just that simple. It's not rocket science. Let's go ahead and get into Monday Night Raw for July the 24th, 2023. As per usual, the show starts with the Judgment Day. Finn, Rhea, and Damian Priest are all in the ring. So, Damian Priest calls for everyone to rise for the Judgment Day. So Rhea goes on about how they run Monday Night Raw, but they also run NXT now. Finn Balor hypes up each member and shows us a video of the Man of the Hour, that being one Dirty Dominic Mysterio, who defeated Wesley last week to win the NXT North American Championship. So Rhea says it's her honor to introduce the hottest man she knows. Out comes Dominic Mysterio. So Dominic gets into the ring. He raises the title and declares himself to be the new NXT North American Champion. And then to celebrate his win, he shows us a brief video hyping himself up. So Dominic says he is your new NXT North American Champion. So then out comes rinse and repeat, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. So Kevin Owens says it feels like we did this last week, which you did. The Judgment Day come to the ring and tried to talk tough. No one believed the one with the mullet. Kevin Owens hates when no one learns a lesson, and the Judgment Day didn't learn last week. Kevin Owens then rips into Dominic about how no one will ever care what he says, and if he wants to help the business, just shut up. So Dominic says he's a champion now and will not be disrespected. Sami goes on and proposes a match with Dominic Mysterio tonight. Dominic tells him to come get some. Sami brings up how the Judgment Day got them to defend their titles last week, so Dominic should do the same tonight with his title. Rhea accepts the challenge for Dominic, and then that's how we end the segment. Again, more rinse and repeat shit. Moving on. Becky Lynch versus Zoey Stark. Becky Lynch wins via the manhandle slam. I wish she would have won with the disarm her. It looks a lot better, but it is what it is. So Corey Graves did mention on commentary, now that Becky Lynch has defeated Zoey Stark, she can now face Trish Stratus at a later date, preferably SummerSlam. And this match was decent. I'm not going to hold you guys up. It was decent. But it is what it is. Moving on. My boy, Cody Rhodes, comes out next. So he greets Ciampa and apologizes for briefly turning his back on a part of the crowd so he can say hello to everyone in the arena. He did this, I believe, 2 weeks ago. I know he did. So it is what it is. Moving on. So Cody Rhodes brings up last week's attack from Brock Lesnar and how it was in front of his mother. Cody Rhodes says his mother wasn't impressed by this assault, mentioning how she saw Dusty Rhodes go to war with other wrestlers like Honky Tonk Man. Cody says his mother, Michelle Reynolds, knows that Brock made one big mistake, and that was he left Cody breathing. Cody doesn't want to go to SummerSlam to win the rubber match. He wants to embarrass Brock Lesnar. He says some backstage are saying, oh no, Cody is poking the bear. Cody says, no. He's not poking the bear. He's slapping it across the face and saying, come get some. Cody says he doesn't want to beat Lesnar at SummerSlam because of ramifications on his career, but because Lesnar deserves it. Cody goes on and says, one day when he's old and gray, looking back on his career, he will know the Lesnar chapter wasn't pretty, but he closed the chapter with a pin. Cody says he will end this at SummerSlam. So I'm fine with this, but then again, what match are they going to have? Is it going to be last man standing? Is it going to be a no holds barred match? Is it going to be a Texas bull rope match? What's the stipulation going to be? What's it going to be? I don't know. I really don't know. And I can't think of anything outside of those three things. You can't do a steel cage because that's presumably what Trish Stratus wants to have her match with Becky Lynch be, is a steel cage. So you can't do that. So, I mean, I don't know what you do. I really don't. Really don't. I would go with the Texas bull rope because we just saw Brock Lesnar last year face Roman in a last man standing match, and I don't want a repeat of that with Cody. I just don't. Again, this all falls under the V for not giving Cody Rhodes the push that he needed. They didn't give him the title at Mania, which is why we have Brock and Cody feuding anyway. It was supposed to be for the title between Brock and Cody over the summer, and we didn't get that. We're just getting them two feuding for not. But it is what it is. WWE constantly fucks shit up. They constantly fuck it up. So moving on, Jackie Redmond's backstage at Ricochet. He said that he's thrilled that Logan Paul accepted his invite to come to Monday Night Raw tonight, but he doesn't get the guy and how he shows up when he wants, all because he's a star on YouTube. Ricochet says, that's hilarious. He says, respectfully, Jackie, everything I have to say to Logan Paul, I want to say to his face. And then Ricochet walks off. So this leads us into Sami Zayn versus Dominic Mysterio for the NXT North America Championship. So Dominic Mysterio wins via roll-up because in the middle of the match, Rhea and Damian Priest, they pushed Kevin Owens out on the ring ramp, and Sami, like a dumb babyface, got out and tried to fight off Judgment Day, which he does. But then he succumbs to the dreaded roll-up for the 1-2-3 by Dominic Mysterio, and Dom retains. So I'm fine with this. It is what it is. But again, it's just your typical Judgment Day shit. This is like what? Their third or fourth segment? I don't know, man. So, post-match, Adam Pearce and a medic tend to Kevin Owens on the stage, and then Dom takes his title, and he retreats to the crowd. So, continuing on, Kevin Owens is backstage being tended to by the medic, and he's clutching his ribs and selling a hurt arm. Hopefully he's not legitimately injured. Hopefully he's not, but if he is, it is what it is, man. But how the mighty have fallen, man. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens have lost all momentum after WrestleMania. It's like they're directionless as champions. I don't know. So Shinsuke Nakamura is backstage when Ricochet walks up. He's looking for Logan Paul. Nakamura says he hasn't seen him. Ricochet asks him to send Logan Paul his way if he does spot him. So Nakamura turns around and he sees Tommaso Ciampa standing there smiling. So Tommaso Ciampa acknowledges how he got involved in Nakamura versus Bronson Reed last week and gave Bronson Reed the DQ win. And he let Nakamura's post-match kick to the face slide, but this isn't charity. You only get one free one. So Tommaso Ciampa says if he sees Nakamura out there tonight during his match with Reed, then that means they have a problem. Understood? And Nakamura just looks ahead, and then Ciampa says that was a good talk, and then he walks off. So this leads us into another Judgment Day segment where Dominic Mysterio is walking backstage. He's bragging about his win. So Apollo Crews is talking to Akira Tozawa. When the Judgment Day bump into them and accuse them of disrespect, they intimidate Tozawa, running him away. Apollo Crews and Damian Priest have some words, and they make a match for later on tonight. I hate that shit. I hate how they fucking do. Wrestlers have beef with each other in the back, and then it has to automatically go into conflict mode, and we get a match. I hate that shit. It fucking annoys me. So, Judgment Day, they walk off, and then Tozawa comes back and tells Crews he's got this. Moving on, Tommaso Ciampa versus Bronson Reed. So towards the end of the match, Nakamura comes down. Him and Ciampa have some words, and then this allows for Bronson Reed to hit the tsunami off of a distraction. So I'm fine with this. This continues their little feud with Nakamura and Tommaso Ciampa, slowly turning Nakamura heel, which is fine, but we've seen 1,000,005 heel turns from Nakamura. Nakamura is in limbo. Like a lot of guys, he's in limbo. And WWE just doesn't know what to do with him. He's been in NXT. He's been on the main roster, both Raw and SmackDown. At this point, I kind of wish that Nakamura was in AEW. I think he'd get more of a better push there. And actually, if we're being honest, he fits there. He fits there like a glove. But it is what it is. Moving on. So, Liv Morgan, she's backstage with Byron Saxton. She confirms that Raquel Rodriguez suffered a serious knee injury in the attack by Rhea Ripley last week. But Liv says Raquel is a big girl and will be back soon to take out Rhea Ripley. Liv then has some words for Rhea ahead of their match tonight, saying she will not back down. And then Liv heads out, and then my girls, Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville, they show up. They knock Byron Saxton for interviewing Liv Morgan instead of them. Ripley shows up, and then they both haul ass. Rhea Ripley says she warned Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez to stay out of her business, but they didn't listen. So she took Raquel out, and Liv is next. Ripley then asks Byron if he sees a pattern forming. So this leads us into a match that we were supposed to get, but it didn't happen. That was Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley. So Liv comes out. Rhea then blindsides her. She beats her down. She throws her to the barricade. She breaks her shoulder over the barricade, tosses her back into the ring, gets a steel chair, stomps on her shoulder. Officials and medics come out. She does it again. And also, Rhea also headbutts Liv Morgan as well. I'm like, damn. So Liv wasn't fucking around. So that was great there. This is great. So Liv Morgan, she's in the trainer's room and screaming and hollering that she can't move her arm, and great shit there. Really great shit. Moving on. So the Alpha Academy are backstage every damn week. Every damn week. So Chad Gable dismisses last week's loss and says no one even knows what a Viking Rules match is. So how about Academy Rules? Chad Gable says they put his head through a shield, so he'll put them through a chalkboard. Maxine Dupree interrupts and doesn't know why Valhalla has such a problem with her. Maxine goes on ranting about Valhalla and says no one puts the Alpha Queen through a table. Maxine says they will do this her way. Her first singles match will be with Valhalla. She says she will see Valhalla next week. Otis yells out, "Oh yeah," to end the segment. Oh no, this is so stupid. I hate it. I hate it. This match should have ended the feud. It's like they're in a perpetual feud. A hamster on a wheel. This shit sucks. I hate it. Get rid of the Viking Raiders, please. Get rid of them. Send them to AEW or Impact or GCW, MLW. Get them off my fucking television. Please. Moving on. So, Ricochet, he comes out, he gets on the mic, he calls out Logan Paul. Ricochet gives Logan Paul some props, but says Ricochet is special every time he steps in the ring. Ricochet goes on about how Logan Paul doesn't belong in WWE and how he can never relate to the sacrifices they make. They go weeks and months without seeing their families. Ricochet wants a match with Logan Paul at SummerSlam. Ricochet calls out Logan Paul again, but Logan Paul drops him from behind with a nasty right. Logan Paul begins to stream on his phone. He says he accepts the SummerSlam challenge and says he will show you all why he's the best in the WWE. The fans begin to boo. Logan Paul knocks a fan in the front row, calling him a virgin who needs to get laid. Logan Paul goes on ranting, and then Ricochet gets up. He super kicks Logan Paul, and then he hits a standing shooting star press. Ricochet begins to take the phone and films himself, and then he says something to Logan Paul, and then he tosses the phone back to Logan Paul, and then Ricochet dips out. So I'm fine with this. There's a rumor that Logan Paul wants to go on first at SummerSlam, which is fine. So that does make sense. He wants to see his brother Jake Paul fight. So yeah, they'll probably give Logan Paul probably about 15 minutes. And then Logan Paul will probably take his private jet. Probably be there by midnight to see his brother fight. So yeah, there's that. Really cool shit there. Moving on. Shayna Baszler, she's backstage with Jackie Redmond. So Jackie Redmond brings up the fact that Ronda Rousey, but Shayna Baszler is sick of hearing that name in reference to everything she's doing. Shayna Baszler says talking or a match won't settle it. So the only way to settle it is to handle Ronda Rousey in the only language she knows. Baszler says at SummerSlam she's going to fight Ronda Rousey. Excuse me. Then Shayna Baszler walks off. Damian Priest versus Apollo Crews, who we haven't seen on the main roster in months. He's been sitting there in catering for 2 months doing jack shit. It makes zero sense. I feel bad for Apollo Crews. He's just like Nakamura. Just like him. In the same boat and everything. Damian Priest wins via the South of Heaven. So Apollo Crews is headed back to catering, but she probably will stay in for several months. Oh boy, this sucks. Moving on. So Jackie Redmond is backstage with Becky Lynch. So Becky Lynch says this thing with Trish Stratus is not over until Becky Lynch wins. Who gives a shit? I hate this feud. Moving on, so we get a promo from the Viking Raiders. So Eric and Ivar say it's well known in the 9 realms that no one likes to fight as much as the Vikings, and the gods are pleased when the Vikings fight in their names. Valhalla then addresses Maxine Dupree and says she's glad to accept her foolish challenge because, after all, the gods do smile to women in battle. Valhalla goes on and offers Dupree a piece of advice. Consult those gods because you're going to need them. Who really gives a shit? Next, the face-off between Drew McIntyre and Gunther. So, Drew McIntyre brings up how Gunther was making challenges last week while he was away. Drew challenges Gunther to a match right now. Gunther goes on about how he brought prestige to the title, while Drew McIntyre is undeserving, adding that Drew fits in with the degenerates of Tampa. Gunther knocks Drew for being a failure and brings up how he humiliated Drew at WrestleMania. Gunther says if Drew wants to ride his coattails, he accepts the challenge, but he will humiliate Drew again at SummerSlam. Drew addresses WrestleMania and how he and Sheamus wanted to steal the show for years with their own WrestleMania match. They did that this year, but Gunther slid in while they were at their weakest and picked the bones to win. Drew says things will be different at SummerSlam. He will prove why he's called the Chosen One, the Scottish Psychopath, and so on. He will beat Gunther's ass, pause, pal, to become the new WWE Intercontinental Champion. Then Ludwig Kaiser gets into the mix. He steps up to Drew McIntyre and says he'll not allow him to disrespect the ring general like this. Drew says he actually likes Ludwig Kaiser and thinks he should be the leader of Imperium because he's fun to watch, while Gunther is like watching paint dry. Drew says since Gunther won't fight him tonight, how about Kaiser? So then this leads us into our main event match. Drew McIntyre versus Ludwig Kaiser. McIntyre wins via the Claymore. So post-match, Imperium, they beat down Drew McIntyre. Matt Riddle comes out. He makes the save. Gunther then tears apart the announce table. He's about to powerbomb Drew McIntyre. McIntyre reverses it into a powerbomb of his own. He grabs the Intercontinental Championship, raises it in the air. So we know come SummerSlam, Drew McIntyre is going to lose. It's weird booking 101. Moving on. So Jackie Redmond, she approaches Rhonda Rousey backstage and brings up how Shayna Baszler says she wants to fight at SummerSlam. Rhonda Rousey asks a fight. Rhonda says Shayna Baszler can't challenge her to any fight. Ronda Rousey doesn't get in a fight. She only fights in the fight. So Ronda Rousey says challenge accepted, and then she walks off. On to the closing segment of the evening. Finn Balor and Seth Rollins, the contract signing for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. So, Finn Balor gets on the mic. He says that Adam Pearce was supposed to oversee this contract signing, but he has his hands full with all the Judgment Day chaos tonight. Balor says he and his opponent are both professionals, and they both want this match, so he thinks they can handle this like gentlemen. So Finn Balor calls out Seth Rollins so they can sign this contract and make the match for SummerSlam official. So then out comes Seth Rollins, and as per usual, the crowd hijacks the show. They sing a song way too fucking much. It's starting to piss me off. I'm tired of it. Sing it twice and then that's it. I'm so sick of that shit. It really does piss me off. So Seth Rollins goes on about how Finn Balor has no chance of beating him for the title. Seth Rollins says if somehow Balor pulls it off, then his title reign will become shorter than his Universal title reign because his boy Damian Priest will cash in on him. Seth Rollins says Finn Balor knows this is true because he did the same to Priest. Seth Rollins says SummerSlam will not be a coronation of the Judgment Day. It will be the end of the Judgment Day. Finn Balor signs the contract. Balor goes on about how Seth Rollins thinks he's so smart with everything figured out. Seth Rollins thinks he runs the place, but he doesn't. The Judgment Day does. So Damian Priest come through the crowd along with Dominic Mysterio. And Finn Balor says he's been losing 7 years and it's driving him slowly insane. And this is all because of you, Seth Rollins. Finn Balor asks if Seth Rollins, if he knows how much Stanley feels. What Stanley feels like. So Rollins has been blindsided by Judgment Day, but before he throws the contract signing table onto the Judgment Day. He has a brawl with them. Sami Zayn comes out, but he succumbs to the numbers. And then basically the Judgment Day destroys Seth Rollins. So Damian Priest hits a South of Heaven. Dom hits the Frog Splash, and Finn Balor hits the coup de grace. And then Judgment Day stand tall over Seth Rollins. And then that's how we go off the air. Typical Judgment Day shit. It is what it is. Monday Night Raw was boring for the most part. The show was lifeless. And they're just doing this all to get by until SummerSlam. Oh, boy. But what did you guys think of the show? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe for more videos. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.